guys? It's Nassim here. Now, the iPhone 14 is one of the safest decisions that Apple has made in 2022. And when I say safe, I mean that it's the exact same phone as the iPhone 13. And now we all know that the iPhone 14 wasn't that much of an upgrade, but I still wanted to share with you what it has to offer. So I'm going to be answering a few questions for the people that need answers. Now, if you have the iPhone 13, you should not upgrade because it's the exact same phone. If you have the iPhone 12, you should not upgrade because even though it's an older phone, it's still very identical to the iPhone 14. And now, if you have any phone that's older than the iPhone 12, then I think that the iPhone 14 will be a very nice upgrade because when it comes to overall performance, there is a big difference. And last but not least, if you are someone who uses an Android phone and wants to change to an iPhone, this is an amazing iPhone to start with, especially since we know that Apple has put the same internals as their already proven to be good phone, the iPhone 13. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to the iPhone 14 is the display. Now, the iPhone 14 has a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR display, still has a phenomenal look that gives off a premium feel. Now, something that I liked about the 14 was how it felt. The smoothness was something that I noticed even after a week, and scrolling through the OS felt effortless for me, and I had no lags along the way. I also really liked that it had the same size as the 14 Pro, which made the viewing experience much better. Whenever I would watch a video on it, I loved how I had no trouble seeing anything, even if the screen was farther away, and I really appreciated how it wasn't too big to the point where I would struggle to grip it with one hand. The responsiveness was very smooth and precise. It basically was as sharp as the 13 and 12, which really gave a nice and improving feeling and made me appreciate the fact that Apple has put some effort into the responsiveness. Now, the brightness was really good if I'm being honest. It wasn't the greatest, but I will say that it was able to hold its own weight when compared to other phones in the market. And now the last thing that I liked about the iPhone 14's display was that the overall viewing experience was really good. The resolution was sharp, the colors were vibrant yet realistic, and the size was big enough to make it a really great experience. So now that we've taken a look at the display, the next thing that I want to look at is software. Now, something that I really liked about the iPhone 14 was how well it was able to run the latest versions of iOS. Like while I was using my 14, I was on iOS 16 and it handled really precise even after 1 week. There were rarely any lags, everything felt buttery smooth, and it gave me a very premium feel. The 14 was also able to handle power heavy apps really well, surprisingly. Whenever I would play power heavy games, I rarely got any lags. Also, whenever I was using my Google Maps, the phone would get hot and the software was working just fine, as opposed to other phones that freeze and completely shut down on me. But besides that, it still had those premium iOS features like the ability to connect to different devices at ease, iMessage, FaceTime, and all of those premium iOS apps that many people use. And overall, it still had that iOS smoothness that even with minor bugs was a joy of using. And if you are considering getting this phone, then you'll definitely be good to go. Now, the next thing that I want to look at when it comes to the iPhone 14 is the battery. Now, when it came to the battery on the iPhone 14, I would get around 5 to 6 hours of on-screen time a day, and the battery was able to last me all day even when I was using power heavy apps. So if you're someone who likes to game on your phone, the battery will last. I would usually end my day with about 25 to 35% battery whenever I didn't game on it, and if I did game on it, I would usually end my day with about 10 to 20%, which was still really good if you ask me. Now, just like the 14 Pro and the Pro Max, the charging wasn't as good, and to be honest, it'll take a really long time for your phone to charge up to 100%, and I was really mad that Apple stuck with the 20 watt quote-unquote fast charger because it's very outdated. But the battery life was pretty good, so it's not as bad, but it's still very annoying if you need to charge your phone during the day. So overall, I would say that the battery on the iPhone 14 was pretty good, but if you are someone who needs to charge your phone throughout the day, then this isn't the greatest phone to get. Now, after the battery, the next thing that I wanted to look at is the speakers. Now, again, comparing the 14 to the 14 Pro, I would say that the speakers were pretty much the same. The bass was a little weak, but that's a common problem within iPhones. And besides the bass not being that great, I would still say that the sound quality was really good. Music sounded really good. Videos were loud and clear. And just like most things that Apple releases, they always have pretty good speakers, and the 14 wasn't that much different. And now the final thing that I want to look at when it comes to the iPhone 14 is the cameras. Now, just like on almost every other regular iPhone, the iPhone 14 has a 12 megapixel camera system that I must say was pretty much the same when compared to the iPhone 13. I was still able to get good photos no matter how harsh or nice the environment was. Like right here, you can see my outside daytime photos, and I would say that these were really good pictures that turned out really well. Everything was sharp, but not too sharp. The colors were accurate, and there was less yellowing like on previous models. And the overall vibrancy of the outside pictures were pretty great to no surprise. Now, when we look at the inside daytime photos, I will say that these were also really great. Like right here, you can see that there was little to no graininess no matter how dark it got, and my selfies were top notch when compared to other flagships. The quality got much better, the sharpness was still great, and the colors were very accurate, which definitely redeemed the camera overall. And when it came to video quality, the 14 had one of the best to offer, and to give you guys an example, here are some videos that I took on it. So here's the final question. Should you get the iPhone 14? To be honest, I would say yes because it's the best iPhone in terms of value. You basically get the same experiences as the 13 and both hold up really well. And there it is, my review on the iPhone 14 after 1 week of use. Now let me know that in the comments. Would you get the iPhone 14 or the iPhone 13? Let me know. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I would like to say thank you for sticking around. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe. It will be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.